warmly welcome you to the Principles of Marketing class. So under Unit 3, which talks about products, we are going to look at Section 5, Branding. By the end of this session, you should be able to describe marketing uses of branding, list the features of an effective brand name, differentiate between brand name and trademark, differentiate between generic products and branded products, differentiate between manufacturer's brand and private brand. Then finally explain global issues in branding. One major aspect of product planning is branding. It consists of the way a firm researches, develops and implements brands. Or comes up with and implements brands. A brand could be a name. It could be a name, term, sign, symbol, design, or some combinations of these that actually identifies the products of one firm and differentiates them from those of its competitors. A brand could either be a name, term, sign, symbol, design, or some combinations of these that identifies the products of a firm and also differentiates them from those of its competitors. There are three basic concepts of brand that we need to look at. It includes the brand name, the brand mark, and trademark. Brand name. A brand name is a word, a letter, or group of words or letters that can be outspoken. A brand name is a word, a letter, group of words or letters that can be spoken out or that could be spoken. It is therefore the part of brand that can be vocalized. It is a part of brand that can be heard by other people. An example of a brand name, Dasani, or some people call it Dasini, Voltic, Warabeba. These are examples of brand. Now, let us look at a brand mark. It is a symbol, a design, or a distinctive coloring or lettering that cannot be spoken. Brand mark is a symbol, a design, or a distinctive coloring or lettering that cannot be spoken. Unlike the brand name that can be spoken, a mark cannot be spoken. Examples are Lexus Stylus L crest, Shell seashell symbol, and the well-known Mercedes-Benz symbol. With the brand mark, we can't vocalize it or we can't speak them out. They are just a design or a symbol that is used by a company which actually differentiates that company from others. A trademark is a brand name or a brand mark. So a trademark can either be a brand name or a brand mark or combination thereof with legal protection. The important word here is legal protection. So a brand name without a trademark is not backed by a legal protection. Somebody can go for the name, and a brand mark too is not backed by a legal protection. But once it is a trademark, meaning that someone else cannot adopt the name or cannot imitate the name because it is backed by legal protection. When registered, a trademark is followed by R. This R symbolizes registered. Example, Nestle is registered, Milo is registered, Sprite is registered, Rubbermaid is registered, Warabeba Sheto is registered. As soon as you see that, it means that such trademark is backed by legal protection. It is not just used. Brand names and brand marks do not offer legal protection against competitors, meaning that your competitors can also go in for the same name unless it is registered as a trademark. Trademarks ensure exclusivity for trademark owners or those securing their permission and provide legal remedies against firms using confusingly similar names, designs, or symbols. Before you could use somebody's trademark, there should be an exclusive right which has been given you. If not, the law can deal with you. For the buyer, the process of branding allows repeat purchases of the same product, since the product is identified with the name of its producer. So branding makes buying very easy. To a buyer, once there is a brand name which is attached to a product, it allows the buyer to easily or quickly repeat purchases, since you only have to speak the name out and not necessarily describing how the product looks like. For the marketing manager or the producer, the brand serves as the cornerstone of the product's image. The brand serves as the cornerstone of the product's image because the brand actually brings the product out of its shelf. Once buyers have been made aware of a particular brand, its appearance becomes additional advertising for the firm. Since the buyer is aware of Mercedes-Benz, since the buyer is aware of Nestle, its appearance becomes an additional advertising activity for the firm, even though the firm has not directly advertised. Shell C Shell symbol is instant advertising to motorists who glimpsed it while driving. Shell's seashell symbol is an instant advertising to motorists who glimpsed it while driving. According to one survey of people in the United States, Japan, and Western Europe, reported in Marketing News on the 15th of October 1990, page 6, the 10 most powerful brands in the world are, according to a survey which was conducted in the countries I have mentioned, and the reference can be found in the Marketing News on the 15th of October 1990. The 10 most powerful brands in the world includes Coca-Cola, Sony, Mercedes-Benz, Kodak, Disney, Nestle, Toyota, McDonald's, IBM, and Pepsi-Cola. The 10 top brands we just mentioned denotes that these brands are well known in the market. In any country you find yourself, if you mention them, they can quickly identify them. Now let us look at the importance of branding. Why there is a need for branding. 1. Product identification is eased. A customer can order for a product by name instead of description. The customer can quickly tell what he or she wants than describing how the product looks like on a market shelf. 2. Customers are assured that a product has certain level of quality if the same brand is reordered. Once a customer orders the same brand, it means that there is a certain level of quality in the mind of the customer. The firm responsible for the product is known. The producer of unbranded items cannot be as directly identified. Those who sell Gary on the market, the soap below, the liquid soaps without brands, it will be difficult for a buyer or a customer to identify who produced that. But once there is a brand, the firm which produced that product can be easily identified. 4. Price comparisons are reduced when customers perceive distinct brands. This is most likely if special attributes are linked to different brands. Let's take Gino Rice for instance. Anyone who knows Gino Rice will not go around comparing prices. No. Since you know about the product, there is no need for you to go around to compare the prices. This is most likely if special attributes are linked to different brands. Because of its grains, people can easily identify it. A firm can advertise or position its product and associate each brand and its characteristics in the buyer's mind. With branding, the product can be positioned in the mind of the buyer. This aids the company in forming brand images, which are the perceptions a person has of a particular brand. Again, as social visibility becomes more meaningful, a product's prestige is enhanced through a strong brand name or via a strong brand name. People feel less risky when buying a product with a brand name. People feel less risky when buying a brand with which they are familiar and for which they have a favorable attitude towards. This is the reason why brand loyalty occurs. Once I know what I am purchasing, I feel very less risky. Brand helps segment markets by creating tailored images. By using 2 or more brands, multiple segments can be attracted. When you are branding a product, you realize that, let's assume you are serving 2 segments and you give each segment a different brand. You realize that there is an easy identification of the different brands you are using to serve the different market segments. A brand may help enter a new product category. Once the name has been created or once the brand name is well known, it will be easy for producers to introduce a new product category since they are very much aware of the brand, or since customers are aware of the brand and a new product category is being introduced. A customer may not doubt because he or she believes that once that product is under the name of the known brand, it is of a very high quality. Branding strategies. We are going to look at some of the strategies that marketers adopt during branding. We have the manufacturer, the private, and the generic brands. We will take them one after the other. Manufacturer brands use the names of their makers. They appeal to a wide range of people who desire low risk of poor product performance, good quality, routine purchases, status, and convenience shipping. With the manufacturer brand, the name of the manufacturer is being used as a brand on the product. The brands are often well known and trusted because quality control is strictly maintained. These brands are well known and very much trusted because quality control is strictly maintained. They are identifiable and present distinctive images. Producers may have a number of alternatives under their brands. The marketing goal is to attract and retain loyal customers when it comes to manufacturer's brand. The marketing goal is to attract and retain loyal customers or consumers for these brands and for their makers to direct the marketing efforts for the brand. So when we talk about manufacturers' brands, People actually go in for these brands because they believe that it comes with low risk, and mostly hardly will you record a poor product performance. It mostly comes with good quality, and people often purchase these brands because they believe it is coming from the right source. Example, Johnson and Johnson. The name is the name of the manufacturer, and it has been given to the names of the products. Private or dealer brands. Private or dealer brands contain names designated by their middlemen, usually wholesalers or retailers, which include service providers. Private brands appeal to price-conscious people who buy them if they feel the brands offer good quality to manufacturer brands, with less emphasis on packaging. At times, they are made to dealer specifications. So you realize that there are some products like liquid soap, Gary. People purchase them from the market, and what they do is after purchasing them, they give it a brand name. So you may think that they you may think that the sellers of the product are the owners of the product. They are not the owners, neither are they the producers. They are only serving as middlemen, just that they have given the product a private brand. Resellers have more exclusive rights for assortments, that is, brands which are unknown to people not shopping with a given middleman, and are more responsible for distribution and larger purchases. Inventory turnover, that's sales, may be lower than manufacturer brands, and promotion prices are the middleman's job. With this type of brand, it is realized that sales recorded is very low because customers believe that the sellers or the marketers of the products are not those who produce the products. They are only serving as middlemen, and they give their brand names to the products in order to sell them out. But customers who are so much conscious about risk, who are so much conscious about product quality, don't buy from private brands. Generic brands. Generic brands mostly emphasize the names of the products themselves and not the manufacturer or the reseller names. Generic brands emphasize the names of the products themselves and not the manufacturer or the reseller's name. So with this generic brand, you realize that they bear the name of the product themselves. With generic brand, a new name is not given to the product by the manufacturer, neither is it being given by the reseller or the middleman who is involved in the distribution. The name of the product is given to the product as a brand. So on the market, we all know of Gary, we all know of liquid soap, we all know of the salt, these salts with this big eyes. We all know of these salts. We call them salts. We call the liquid soap. We call Sobolo without any brand name. We call them by their name, Sobolo. We call Don't Touch Me by its name, Don't Touch Me. No additional name has been given to them. So it carries its own name as its brand. Generic brands started in the drug industry as low-cost alternatives to expensive manufacturer brands. People think that it doesn't cost much when you don't attach any name to a product. Today, generic brands, even though they started from the drug industry, they have expanded into car batteries, motor oil, and other products as we speak now. Generics appeal to price-conscious, careful shoppers who perceive them as being a very good value and sometimes willing to accept lower quality, and often purchase for large families or organizations. Producers believe that generic brands comes with low pricing, so people who are very much price conscious would go in for generic brands. And people also believe that when their family size is very large, it is good to purchase generic brand item because you pay less for them. Generics are seldomly advertised and receive poor shelf location. As it stands now, I don't know of any supermarket which will accept your product that does not have a name. A product without a name, it will be very difficult to be accepted on a market shelf. Consumers must therefore search out these brands, meaning that when supermarkets accept these brands on their market shelf and consumers want to purchase them, since they don't know their names, it will be difficult to point at them. They can only purchase them by describing these brands. Prices are less than other brands by anywhere from 10 to 50% due to its quality, packaging, assortment, distribution, and promotion economics. Trust me, there could be some generic brands which would have a quality product than even a manufacturer's brand. But people mostly undermine those brands because they don't have a name, and it is believed that the quality nature of it is mostly low. The major marketing goal is to offer low priced, lower quality items to consumers interested in price savings. Many firms, including service providers, use a mixed brand strategy, thereby selling both manufacturer and private brands. So you can get to so many supermarkets and they have a combination of private brands and manufacturer's brand. There is a control over the brand bearing each seller's name. Exclusive right to a brand can be gained. Exclusive right to a brand can be gained once the brand name has a copyright or it's a trademark and not just the name. Family brands and individual brands. Another strategy: family brands and individual brands. A family brand is a single brand name used for several related products. For example, Johnson & Johnson, they offer a line of baby powder, they have lotion, they have disposable diapers, they have plastic pants, they have baby shampoo under one broad name, Johnson & Johnson. Wherever shito, for instance, is given to the beef shito, the chicken shito, the mushroom, the gizzard, they all come under one name, Warabeba shito. When family brands are used, a promotional expenditure benefits all the products in the line. So let's assume that I'm advertising Warabeba shito. Since it's a family brand, I will get the opportunity to market all the types under the product line, and it will still be under the one advertisement cost. But when it happens to be different products with different brands, I am sure the cost of advertisements will be higher as compared to marketing or advertising all products under one name. It is best for specialized firms or ones with a narrow product line. Use of family brands also makes it easier to produce or introduce a product to both the consumer and the retailer at a go. Brand extension, whereby an established name is applied to new products, is an effective use of family branding. As it stands now, if I get the chance to produce rabbit shito, octopus shito, whatever shito, it will still be under the brand name Warabeba shito, and this explains the brand extension. Let us look at the individual brand. It is applied to only one product. It is very appropriate when a firm's products vary in quality and types. When a firm's products are not closely related, it is advisable to use the individual brands. Lever Brothers, for instance, come up with have come up with Close Up and Pepsodent toothpaste, Live Bar, Lux toilet soap, and so forth. They have different brands for their different product items. Individual branding allows brands to be differentiated and targeted at particular market segments. With the individual branding, it helps a marketer to gear a product towards a particular market segment because you are serving different groups of markets or different segments. There's a need for you to come up with individual branding so that the product can be easily identified. Individual brands are more expensive to market because a new promotional campaign must be developed to introduce each new product to its target market. This is self-explanatory. Individual branding serves as an extremely effective aid in implementing a market segmentation strategy and enhances organizations to increase total sales. Choosing a brand name. For one to choose a brand name, there's a need to consider the following. 1. Should it be under a brand extension or an existing name should be applied to a new product? So a brand can either fall under it could either fall under a well-known brand or it could either come with a new name on its own. For a private brand, the middleman specifies the name. So in choosing a brand, if you go in for the private brand, it is the middleman who will come up with a name. Example, Sankofa Rice. Also, if a new name is sought, these are the alternatives which are available. When you are choosing a brand name and you are coming up with a new name, you can either look at the initials of your business or your name or your family or whatsoever. You can also come up with invented names and names that you invent yourself. You can also choose numbers. You can choose your personal name. You can choose your personal name. Hajia Wache. You can choose your personal name for your brand. A combination of words, initials, numbers, and etc. Head and Shoulders shampoo is an example of that. With a licensing agreement, a company pays a fee to use a name whose trademark rights are held by another. So this simply talk about franchising. Due to the high consumer recognition of many trademarks, sales for a new product may be facilitated by paying a royalty fee to use one. Sometimes it is difficult to come up with a new name, and some people too would prefer going in for the name of an already established brand because such person believes that that brand has already created the market. When it happens that way, there's a need for you to follow the strict rules and regulations of the mother brand, and also there's a need for you to pay a loyalty to the mother brand so that you be guided in their day-to-day affairs, and also you will be monitored. Characteristics of effective brand names. It should be easy to pronounce, recognize, and remembered. Short names. Example, Raid, Big, and Wababa. I quite remember when I started with my bread business, I used to call the name of the bread Sweet Love Bakery. One day, an old woman walked to my house to say that when she went to the shop, she couldn't remember the name of the bread. Therefore, it should just be simple, Doki's Bread. Meaning that in choosing a brand name, it shouldn't be a complicated name, simple to remember. Suggest something about a product's use or attributes in choosing a brand name. Visa card suggests that the card could be used globally. Also, one effective strategy is that the brand name should be applied to a whole line of products. So it is good to choose a family brand. It should have a pleasant or at least neutral meaning internationally. People shouldn't struggle to know the meaning. It should have a name that might give a meaningful detail to the product. Then it should convey different advantage. It should convey different advantage. Aside what the product is offering, the brand name should kind of communicate an additional advantage about the product. This brings us to the end of session 5. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.